Hi and welcome to day 2. Today we're going to do a yin yoga pose called butterfly pose. Now we're going to spend 5 minutes in this pose, which might seem like a lot if you're new to yin yoga, but don't worry, I will make sure that it's not too intense. And I'm going to talk you through a few things before we get started, and you'll be surprised what can change in 5 minutes. So I do want you just to take a moment while we're sitting here to drop into the body and notice how you're feeling. Any feeling quality that you can perceive, whether it's a sense of movement and anxiety or stress in your day, or maybe you're feeling really calm and relaxed and at ease, but maybe a little bit dull in your senses. All of these things are potential, and you just allow what is there to be present in the space. So we'll just drop down the eyes, either downcast or closed, and take a minute to tune in. Okay, so from this space, we've sort of recognized where we're at. We're going to use that to help us determine how we approach our practice, and we'll also see what happens after we do the pose. So butterfly is a diamond shape to the legs. It's not the Baddha Konasana that you'll see in a Hatha yoga practice. In yin, we give ourselves a lot more space here, so heels are far away from the groin. You can use a block or a prop, but I'm going to assume that if you're not really a regular practitioner, you don't have that accessible. So I'm going to show you some ways to use your arms as a prop instead today. So from this place, we're going to see if we can start to scoot the sit bones, the kind of bones of the pelvis that press down toward the floor backwards as we hinge forward. Now you might just want to rest the elbows on the legs like I'm doing now, let the head hang, and that might be enough for you today. You can also rest the elbows on the knees and hold the head in the hands if that feels better for your neck. You can keep the head elevated if that feels better for your neck. So those are all options. If you're a little bit more flexible, or you've been practicing for a little bit longer and your body has more space, you can start to hang all the way forward and allow the arms to drop and let the head hang down. And like I said, we will be here for a few minutes. So there's a couple of things to know about yin yoga. One, that we don't want to go too deep too soon, because as you can imagine, after a few minutes it gets pretty full on. So I like to say to start at around 40 to 50% of your capacity. So if you can lay all the way down, maybe just start up a little bit, ease in. And we really want to stay as relaxed as we can in this. So find a position where you're not feeling anxious or stressed that you're stuck in this awkward shape. And then get comfortable in your pose. And we're just going to let the breath be natural, ideally moving through the nose, but if you have a blocked nose, it can move through the mouth. And I like to aim for a rhythmic and even breath, which means that I'm roughly breathing in maybe 4 or 5 counts on an inhalation and 4 or 5 counts on an exhalation. You'll find as you get more relaxed, the breath will naturally become more shallow and more long, typically. So I find that I can often breathe to a 10 or a 12 count inhale and exhale as the pose progresses and as I get more relaxed. So see what happens for you in that. And what we're looking for is a sensation of stress and stretch through the lower back, and maybe the sides of the thighs, the outer hips, and maybe the inner thighs and hamstrings, depending on your body. If you have some tension in the upper back and neck, you'll probably be feeling some of the stretch through the thoracic region and the arms. You might be feeling it a lot in the neck, which is why I suggest using the arms to hold the head if at any point it gets too much. Please support the neck, because the neck can really cop it in this pose if we aren't mindful of looking after it. Remember, the head, in many of us is at least a couple of kilos, and the tissues of the neck are actually quite delicate. And if we have a lot of stress, they can be quite tight. And so we're just giving our body a chance to really soften. And so if you found that you were pretty tense when you came to this today, you probably need to do more of a modified practice and really focus on the breath to let yourself drop in. If you're feeling pretty relaxed and at ease, you can probably just start to hang out and let the bones go. Let your mind start to focus in on the breath.
So one of the lovely things about yin is when the teacher stops talking and you get to just drift in the pose. Try to keep my attention harnessed to the breath and the sensations in the body, so I'm not completely disassociating. But if you do feel you need to drift as well, that's fine. And our attention is a really important piece of currency, and yin teaches us to focus our attention, to harness our attention. So try not to let yourself drift with thought. If you are drifting, just drift as if you were a cloud floating in a big open sky. And if you're staying with me, stay really present and attentive to the breath and the sensations within the body. Use them to anchor the mind. And we'll take about 5 more breaths in our butterfly shape today. And if you're done on your final breath, you can inhale yourself up. And I like to walk myself up with my hands to support me, and then we'll come to lay down on our backs and keep your knees bent. Just move my bolster because I'm very tall. Have the soles of the feet to the floor, the knees together, and just rest on your back for a moment. This is called the rebound of a yin pose. And what that means is we've done the effort and now we're listening to the response within the body. Let the breath be natural. There'll be the physical sensations dominate first. And then you'll feel that there's a shift in the energy of the body, a harmonizing of the energy in the body over time. It takes usually about a minute for everything to really settle, sometimes longer. My teacher says a temporary feeling of vulnerability and fragility is a good thing in yin yoga. And the key 2 words there are temporary and it's vulnerability. It's not pain, so we don't ever want to hurt ourselves, but we want to open ourselves enough that we feel that little bit of healthy stress that helps us to rebuild stronger and to really flush out any qi that might be stuck in the joints, any pathogenic qi within the body, unhealthy qi. Great. So from here we'll start to walk the soles of the feet together and we're going to roll them to the side, press up, and just take a seated pose for a moment and just notice. What do you feel having done exactly 1 yoga pose? And a little bit of an integration and rebound. I'd be super curious to hear your experience, so please feel free to reply to this email and let me know how you go. But that was butterfly pose. Well done, and I will see you tomorrow for our next